Here we go, guys. It's Hoops here with another video. So you're watching the Hoopers Mayhem YouTube channel. This is video 3 that you're watching right now, and it's for the Hilux build. So I got myself 2015 Toyota Hilux turbo diesel, and yeah, we've been slowly adding bits and pieces to it, like solar panels and all the power supplies and things like that. So today's video is actually just got in the mail our King's Adventure King's rear drawer system. So it's the Titan rear drawer, 2 drawer systems with the wings. So we're actually going to install that in the back of this car now. So if you haven't installed one before, if you want to learn how, watch this video. Go back through my playlist, have a look at video 1 and 2 that I done, where I painted it and I installed the solar panel. And yeah, keep an eye out for the next few videos where we start getting right into it with all the electrical sides of things. So stick around, I'll play my new intro and we'll get back to you shortly, and we'll get stuck into it and start installing the drawers.
Welcome to Hoopers Mayhem, if that's your wish. You will see him try very hard to catch important fish. He will swing a detector around and round. He will find all kinds of treasures on the ground. He loves the caves, he loves the things, he loves just doing everything. To runs and smoking meat, he's a meat smoker that can't be beat. It's Hoopers Mayhem, Hoopers Mayhem, lots of mayhem, really mayhem, a mayhem mayhem, Hoopers Mayhem. Oh, won't you just, oh, you subscribe, just subscribe. Please, I just want someone to subscribe. All my family have subscribed, and I need someone I don't know who'll subscribe. Subscribe. Love it. Subscribe.
Alright, there we go. So we got the 3 packages. Not sure exactly what's in it. So we got the big one, which is the drawers, and that comes in the box, and it's 80 kilos. Gross weight 85. So yeah, it was a struggle to get it here, but we're going to unbox it. And then we got the wing kit, and I'm guessing that's my little accessory panel box that I bought that come with it as well. So we'll rip into this, see what it is, and we'll start trying to work out how to install this. Alright, so here's the first little small one, which is actually pretty handy because I wanted something like this to done it, and so I ended up going nuts and buying heaps of these. But you got under that, you've got 2 12-volt cigarette lighters or lighter sockets, and then you got the N one, which is a dual USB port, and then up the top you got the voltage meter. So my new battery that I'm getting, and the battery box that I'm getting, doesn't actually have a proper digital volt meter, so that'll be handy to know what reading my battery is running at. So yep, that's the first one, is the King's accessory panel box. So that'll actually mount on the back of the drawers. We're going to have it probably either this side or the other side on the wings, and that way we can plug things like that in it whilst we're got the table set up like this for camping, and have our 12 volts and USB drives running off that. So yep, that's the first one. Alright, so here's box 2. This is the wings accessory. So you get 4 of these mounted boards with the carpet on it. And it's weird because they're actually not the same coloured carpet. I think maybe that's I don't know. But we've also got 2 corner brackets, another 2 there. We do have a heap of carpet, so I'm thinking maybe that does actually glue over the top of these pieces, I would assume. We get 4 brackets which will mount onto the actual rear drawer, so that way it brings it out for our top. Well, I think it mounts that way, and then those pieces of ply mount on top of that, and that gives us our 2 wings. We get a bolt kit and all the little plugs to get in and out of these to undo them so you can get to them. So yeah, and an instruction manual or destruction manual. So we'll have to have a bit of a read for that, and now we'll unbox this one and see what's in this one. All right, there's the third box. So it's the rear drawers, the whole body of the whole thing. So you've got these nice drawers. It's got a bit of a destruction manual for it, and the mounting brackets to mount it down. So what I'm going to do is follow the instructions, read the instructions first, and then we're going to get it all set up, and then we're going to bolt it into the base of the car. So what you got to do, I know for a fact we've got to get these drawers out and everything else off it. So it's basically just the frame, and then you're going to mount the frame in there, but you've got to measure it all up, make sure it's all square and all the rest of it, and then we'll see how we go from there. But yeah, beauty. Right, first bits first is you want to take these two drawers out, like I said. So we've got the two drawers just sitting there. They'll pull out. You're just going to be wary of these. So I had this little latch here which bolts underneath and keeps this one closed. This one, the screws all fell out, so I'm going to have to put bigger screws in because it's just basically stripped it out of the wood that's there. So we'll have to change that. But the next bit is, from what I can see, is we're going to be unbuttoning all the tops. So you got the drawers there, you're measuring them up, getting the drawers off, and you got to take out these little grub screws which are on the top in the four corners and all the way around it. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove those top pieces, and that will give us just the frame. You got to take all of these off, and we've already had one issue straight away, well, two issues actually. But the first one is this unstripped, and I cannot for the life of me get that button head screw out. So I'm not sure exactly. I might have to get the chisel in a flat head across it, and then try it with a flathead screwdriver to get it out, because it is tight, and yeah, it just literally stripped it and it doesn't connect. So that's two issues, that and that little hinge, or the little latch on the front, which the screws just fell out. But anyway, I'll get all of these tie down points off, and then we should be able to take this one off at least, and then we'll see what we're dealing with on this one. Oh, all right, so I've taken off those, and Kings have just lost a tiny bit of credibility, because this nut right here was the one that was stripped, and I was unscrewing it. I managed to get the pliers to unscrew it, and it was unscrewing and nothing. The main thing is the bit that it's mounted to unwinds as well, so it literally was not going any further. So now I'm going to have to grip onto it on the bottom, spin that one out, and yeah, get rid of that whole bolt. And as I was trying to get that out, the little strip edges that go around these the carpeted top, one of them screws popped out. Same deal, just doesn't want to thread back in. So yeah, quality of the build, not so much, but we'll see how we go. We probably should be able to fix it without having to ask them to replace all this and whatever else. I should be able to get it all sussed out myself. But yeah, a little bit annoying, to be honest, because just this bit here alone took me about 20 minutes, and what it did is it actually pulled through it. So this ain't gonna hold to nothing anymore, but we'll come up with a better solution. So yep, we'll mount this in the back of the car, we'll get it centered, mark our holes where we're gonna drill them, and then we'll get on with that bit. All right, I've managed to, I've got Kai to help me, and then I've just popped the drawers in, because what I want to do is just get it lined up this way first, because it's obviously got to fit in behind the tailgate. So what I'll do is I'll close up the gate, just to check to see if it hits on here. Right. Oh, we're pretty close. So that's basically just resting up against it that side. It's just resting up against it that side. It's a better view. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. You could take them handles off, and then you would get, obviously you'd get a bit more, because like most people would pull them from the handles anyway. So all you need is that much, which is probably going to be basically the same. No, it's not. Yeah, no, you'll gain that distance there if you really wanted to. But I think is the only thing I'm going to be having, and I'll check the size in a minute, is I'm probably going to have a water tank at the back there. So if I need to gain that extra, probably 30 mil on the back here, so that much, if I want to gain that extra much distance at the back there so I can fit the water tank, I'll probably will take them off. But I'm just going to do some measurements first, and then what we're going to do is we're going to run a tape from this corner to this corner and get it the exact same distance from that corner to that corner, and same deal, this corner to this corner, this corner to this corner. You want it to be exactly dead center in the middle of it. Then we take the drawers out, mark a couple holes, and then we drill through the chassis of the car, make sure there's nothing underneath the car that we're going to hit, and then we'll bolt it up, and then we'll get onto the frame. So this is the actual sidebars that we have, and they will mount on there or however they do it. I'm pretty sure it's going to mount something like that, I'm guessing, but I'll have a look in a minute, and then yeah, we'll go from that. But let's get this first. All right, so I've had to put up a couple of lights in here just to get the light, but you'll see there I've got one hole marked, 2 hole marks, and the back 2. Jackie's going to help me just lift it out, and we're going to pre-drill them holes. I've checked underneath as well, but when I do the little holes, I'll just double check and make sure that I can get to them. The back ones are the hardest ones, so yeah, we're just going to put a towel or 2 on the back so we can drag this out. And yeah, like I said, I'll just drill those holes. I've also just a little tip as well, is I've marked where those brackets are on the actual bed of the truck, and then I've marked some centers on all 4 of those brackets on either side, so that way when we put this back in, even though we know that that's the hole, but we're going to get the exact spot where we want this. So yep, we'll do that, we'll get this out and we'll drill these holes. Right, so there we go, that's the first bolt there. The second bolt there. We just got the 2 back ones to do. With these brackets too, if these where they are, if it's sort of interfering with something underneath, all you got to do is undo 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts there, and 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts, and that whole bracket will slide down. As you can see, there are several holes all along it. More so the back ones work a lot better, but this one you can move from to here to here to here, actually into there. So you've got a few different spots you can change that bracket to being all the way along it. So if that helps anyone, that's what you can do. But anyway, we'll I've got to drill out these back 2 because I've had to move my one down a little bit. So I'm going to drill out those 2, and then we'll get that, and then that's that installed. We can then put the plates on the top, the drawers in at least, and then we're going to start working on the wings. Alright, so I have done all 4 holes. So there's the other ones just in there. They're through the chassis, or through the body, should I say. And now what I'm doing is just putting the top back on. So we got all the little grub screws in each that pin the board on the top, but we've also got the fridge mount little hooks, or just the hooks for things. So yeah, we're gonna just put all that on. I'm gonna put this one on, chuck the drawers in, and then tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm gonna start getting onto the wings. I actually have to, it's funny, I just wanted to do it just to see what it looked like, but for me to get the wings on, I have to take it all out again and install those side brackets on it. I knew that, but I knew I wouldn't get time to put the wings on tonight, and I just want to do it, and I need to go get the glue, so carpet it on, glue the carpet on, and yeah, so I'll touch this up and I'll come back to you in a minute. Alright, it's morning, so I'm going to show you what I've done. I've only done this, been at it for about an hour, but what I've done is I mounted these outer brackets. So you got the slotted ones. When you get them from King's, they've got a slotted one, and that ones are the middle ones. So you got one there, and that one's a slotted one. You see the slots just there, and then ones are the fixed ones. They're the back ones, and then you got these front carpeted ones. So they've got actual holes in the sides ready made for it, so it's just a matter of doing it. One thing I did find which was rather annoying is, I guess, mainly the back ones. You got the 3 holes. When the bracket's on, they don't actually line up properly, so I had to like re-drill the holes out just a little bit bigger and up higher to make them line up, because I stripped one of the bolts trying to get it in, and it was a nightmare, and I was cussing and cursing at the front at 6 o'clock in the morning. So The neighbours love me. But yeah, I got it in the end. We managed to get those brackets on. So we've got one there, and then the side brackets. So I'm just tightening up this last one now. So I've just got these screws here to do. And then there's one there with a nut on the back of it. So I'm getting them in place. One thing I found, I was going to put the panel on here which has the plugs and stuff like that. I actually think I might change my mind because this door, when it butts up, actually butts up against it. I don't really want it hitting on that. It's already tight enough as it is. So what I might do is when I make the base along here, I might actually sit them just there. It's a perfect little spot because it's got a shelf that they can sit on. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is button that up and then we're going to get into making the sides. So we're on to the next step. So what we got to do is, these are the boards that run down either side. They're two different sizes. So you got one long one and one slightly shorter one. You use the box that the thing comes in, and you want to make these templates. So basically these are the exact size of the bits of plyboard. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drop them in over here. As you can see, it's already too long or too wide for it, so we're going to mark it and trim it all up, make sure we get it all nice and neat. So the long ones are at the back and then the short ones will be up the front here, and we've also got to cut in around where it joins in around here and up to the carpet, and then that will flap over the top of it, and then that will bring that in nice and neat. So that's what we're going to do. And then what we're going to do is then we trace it on the here onto those, cut them out, and then we're going to go buy some quick grip glue, and then we're going to glue that carpet on, and then we've got to mark the holes, and then the only last thing we've got to do is the hole saw through for these pieces that go on top. So we'll get stuck into that pretty shortly. Right, so I've marked out the first one, so I lined it up against there and basically just drew from this edge up to where it landed up there. And that's where we got this mark. So I'm just going to cut that out, and that should be the first piece. So what I'll do is that piece, then I'll do that piece, and then that one and that one, and just work my way through it. One thing we've also got to do in a minute is take the top off this one, like what I've done here, and then install the stoppers, which are just here. So they're the stoppers. So basically that will stop the drawers from coming all the way out. So there's one on the insides of each, the back end of each one of them. So I've got 4 stoppers to install, and then it's just pretty much carpeting up those, which I've got to go and get the glue for. And then, yep, like I said, this one here will actually have probably in amongst all of my goodies, which I will show you through later. We've got this one. We've got several of these, but this is one that we're going to do. We will mount that control switch probably somewhere on this board up here. So it's basically on the top here somewhere, and probably back there. And obviously I've got my fridge and stuff like that, so when it's slid out we could actually have it plugged into this one instead of running all the way up through to the battery up there. Oh yeah, we'll work that out. But yeah, I'd say that's where it's going to mount somewhere in here. Alright, so I've marked out the first one, so I lined it up against there and basically just drew from this edge up to where it landed up there, and that's where we got this mark. So I'm just going to cut that out, and that should be the first piece. So what I'll do is that piece, then I'll do that piece, and then that one and that one, and just work my way through it. One thing we've also got to do in a minute is take the top off this one, like what I've done here, and then install the stoppers, which are just here. So they're the stoppers. So basically that will stop the drawers from coming all the way out. So there's one on the insides of each, the back end of each one of them. So I've got 4 stoppers to install, and then it's just pretty much carpeting up those, which I've got to go and get the glue for. And then, yep, like I said, this one here will actually have probably in amongst all of my goodies, which I will show you through later. We've got this one. We've got several of these, but this is one that we're going to do. We will mount that control switch probably somewhere on this board up here. So it's basically on the top here somewhere, and probably back there. And obviously I've got my fridge and stuff like that, so when it's slid out we could actually have it plugged into this one instead of running all the way up through to the battery up there. Oh yeah, we'll work that out. But yeah, I'd say that's where it's going to mount somewhere in here. Alright, so I made up the 2 templates out of the cardboard, and you'll see I've got a nice cut around the corner there. This will be the 51mm hole saw that you'll use there to get that plug to screw down onto the top of this. And I marked out my holes to attach it to the out brackets, and I've done that side as well. So now what I've done is I've transferred those onto those bits of wood. Yeah, I'm going to take those bits of wood out to the shed because I've transferred it on there. I'm going to take them out to the shed and get the jigsaw and cut these little pieces and strip it down. And what you want to do is peel, because it had the carpet on it, peel the carpet back, cut it down with the jigsaw or a circular saw. And we've also got, went to Bunnings and bought just some contact fix and a paintbrush. And I also bought the just a staple gun and some staples just to pin it and make it so it doesn't come back up afterwards, and that'll make it a hell of a lot better. So yeah, we'll get into the shed and we'll go do that. All right, there we go. So I've cut them out, and as you can see, they fit pretty tight. I'm not worried about the little bits of gaps on that. And what I had to do was just cut off the excess felt, because that's the under edge of it. Which I wouldn't have even mattered if it was there, because it's pretty similar color. You can see it's not even that bad, but I think I will carpet it just for the sake of it. Yep. So the only thing that, like I said, I've got to do is cut the hole for that and then drill those 2 holes out. Once I've done that, I'll go and carpet over the top of these pieces, and I've done the same for this side. I've just got to cut the carpet off that one on the inside, and then yeah, we're ready to start putting the quick grip on and getting the carpet on top. Right, we are ready to go. So I've got the contact fix, I've got ourselves a paintbrush, and basically what we're going to do, we've got these 4 pieces that come with the King's Titan rear draw system. So we've cut these to size. I've drilled my couple holes. So what I'm going to do is apply the contact fix to this and also to the back side of this. Then we're going to flip it over, stick it down, and then what I'm going to do is probably like put it under something. Like I'll stack them all up like this and put them under probably something heavy, like maybe the bin or something like that, just to keep them flat and gluing. But this stuff here actually is pretty rapid dry, 3 to 5 minutes it says. So should be pretty quick and should be able to get it done. And once that's done, we're good to go and start screwing it down. Right, so there we go. I carpeted them, and what I did is I stapled along the edges all the way around, and then I just trimmed them with my knife, and then I drilled out the 2 holes that hold the button heads up that end, and there's 2 button heads at this end. So they were on the template which you would have seen, so all I did was drill them, and to be honest, they fitted absolutely perfect. That's the gap right there. You can't even tell there is a gap between them, so they are tight as and very stable. And then yep, I did a 51mm hole saw, put the plugs in, and same as the other side. Got the 51mm plug. That one there I just got to blow off the sawdust. But yeah, they are in. The only last thing I've got to do now is put these rubbers on the back of the drawers, so that way it stops them from coming out all the way. So that's the last job, and then I've got to give it a quick vacuum, and then I've got to put all this back together, the top back on. But to do these plugs, you've got to take these tops off, so I've got to take all of these back off again. Anyway, lesson learned. So yeah, we'll get on to that. All right, so continuing off from where we sort of took off last night, because it was about 1 o'clock by the time I come in. So I haven't actually had like a full day of being able to do all this. It's been spread out over the past 3 days, because yeah, we had a lot of little things to do during the day and late afternoon. So what I've been doing every day is actually screwing these tops back on, which is probably been the most annoying part out of it, because now I've got to do the rubber stoppers. So to do the rubber stoppers, you actually have to take the top off, install the rubbers on the side of the drawer, and then when it's in there, you actually install, you tighten up the rubbers. So you've got to get to it from the top. This side it's not so bad, because you've got that slide out drawer, the slide top for the fridge, but you can slide the drawer back and you can actually get to that one. But for the other side, I actually have to take the top off again, so it's rather annoying. So you'll see here on the ends of these King's drawers, you've got these two little holes, and there's one on either side. They're actually covered over with carpet, so you wouldn't even know. So what I'm going to do is get the drill bit, just drill those through so I can actually see them from the other side. And then I'm going to get into taking the top off of this one. So it's both sides on this. Take the top off, slide the drawer in, put the two rubbers in. So we'll do that now, and once it's done I'll come back and show you. Right, whew, it's hot. It's going to be like 42 degrees or 40 degrees today, so I'm glad I started early. Alright, so these is the rubbers I was talking about. So you'll see I've got the nylon washers in there, and then you got the white stopping. So they basically go on the inside of this drawer system, which you can see here. So I've got to basically put these in behind the back here, which is hard to show you, but there's the two holes just there and there that I've got to put the screws through and then get on behind them. And then I've got one on the opposite side, which is there. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll get the rubbers in, and then we'll give it a bit of a better vacuum, put it all back together, and then that's done. That's the rear drawers, so we'll see how we go. Alright, so they're all in. You'll see just on the edge there, that's the button, the plug, and then you've got them screws that are in there. So what I'm going to do now is just put all these pieces back on, bolt this down, and then yeah, like I said, I'm just going to give it a quick little clean up. I've got most of the bits and pieces off, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, like I said, when I did this, like how tight I managed to get that, so that's like super nugged up, nice and tight. What I'm going to do is, I haven't actually put the latches on this one to slot it in, so I still got to do that little job. Now that one's neither here nor there, it's just a matter of putting a couple screws in, so I'm not going to bore you. But this one here, I'm probably going to end up eventually taking out those couple screws, and I'll put a hinge. But there isn't much room in the ways of like storage space under there. I'll try and see if I can get in there to show you. So obviously you got the wheel arch. I mean, you got a little bit of a gap, but towards the very front of it up there, you've got about a probably 150mm sort of box, sort of a gap. So it's probably about here, this section here through here, that isn't getting used. But I mean, you can get to it from here, so it's not so bad. But I might still, like I said, hinge it, because there is a bit of room for stuff. You could probably have your jumper leads or tow rope and a few bits and pieces. So I'll probably put a hinge along there on both sides. I've got the battery in and I've hooked up the solar, but this is going to be another video. I've just got it now just to see how it goes with trickle feeding my battery, but I've also have it on charge, so I'm just charging up the battery so it's full, and then we'll leave the solar plugged in, and then we'll run the fridge and see how the fridge goes once it's fully charged, and see if it drains it or if it drops, or you know, how that solar panel's holding up. But we're going to be getting a BC-DC charger anyway, so that's going to be pretty handy. So yeah, I'll just button these up, and then I'll sort of stand out, give you a better view, and we're pretty much finished. Alright. Great. it's all done. It's all tidy. I'm sweating like a pedo at a Wiggles concert, and it's bloody hot here today. So yeah, like I said, 40 degrees. But I've done all complete now. So I'll give you a bit of a run through what it looks like, so I can get my little butt out of here. Oh. That's a little bit tight, but that'll loosen up over time. I'll switch around. So that's the Titan drawers all done. Like I said, it comes up really neat and tidy. These drawers roll out nice and easy. This one here was a little bit stiff, but that'll loosen up, and I don't really want that pulling out too easy anyway, because we'll have the fridge on it. Same as this one. Now it's got the rubbers on there. Hopefully that means it will stop. Yeah, see, it stops now, so it doesn't drop down. It's all lockable, and yeah, what more can you do? It's got the straps on there. I did put these around the opposite way, so I have to change them around, but that's no big deal. But yep, all finito. So yep, cool. Alrighty guys, I'm gonna go have a beer. So I've done the rear drawers now, so that's the Hilux has now got a bit more modifications done to it. So stay tuned for some more coming videos where I'm going to do the bulkhead of at the back of the canopy there. I've got some marine ply. I'm going to build a bulkhead at the back, and I'm going to cover it in carpet, and then I'll show you all the bits and pieces that I've got right now. Right, there we go. So here's the control board that I purchased from King's as well. So you've got all these room switches, so switches that say you could run your LED strip lights like what I've got here. I'm going to be putting this pretty much all over the car, and we'll be running them onto separate switches. We've got ourselves 3 12-volt lighter sockets, and it's got a voltmeter on it, and then you got your inputs, and then it's also got 2 USB ports there, and then it's all fused up. This is a fully finished unit, so you just undo the screws and everything is all hooked up the way you probably want it. So it's just a matter of running it in through here or in through the sides and hooking up each individual switch to whatever you want. So that's pretty cool. I've also got this one, which I got off of eBay. So it's pretty much the same. It's got a voltmeter. You've got your cigarette lighter, and you've got 2 USB ports there. And then you've also got these illuminated switches, so you'll see when they come on, they'll shine, light up. So I'm not sure exactly where I'm putting all this stuff yet, but we're going to work it out. It's more than likely going to be on the headboard, access through some of the windows, and possibly maybe on here, or I don't know, somewhere where I'll make a box up for it all to go in. I've also got this triple one, so it's got two lighter sockets and then another 2 USB ports, whether that's going to go in the car or at the back here. And then I also I just went nuts with these, so I bought some individual ones as well. So there's another 2 USB there, and then this one is another USB one as well. So yeah, so all up 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 USB ports, which is more than enough, I should think. So I'm running, obviously I've got my drone, I've got my GoPro, I've got my phones, I've got my gimbal, we've got kids phones, all those little tech savvy things that you need a USB for. That's the main reason of having this. And like I said, we're going to have that BC to DC charger in there. We'll also have probably like a 1500, maybe 2000 pure sine wave inverter, so we can run the laptop. We can get other things hooked up to it later on, so if we want a microwave, if we go camping, things like that, we can bring that in. So yeah, it'll have the inverter, BC charger, all that, run back to the other battery, and then running all these accessories with like I said, heaps and heaps of LED lights. And you'll see the gap, which is at the back. I'm getting a water tank, so the water tank will come in, drop down, go over the wheel arches and down, and then I'll have a water pump in here, and then we're going to have a hot water system which we'll probably mount on either side here, and then be able to have showers whilst we go. So yep. that's it for this video. Just a quick, well, pretty long probably, but just a video on how to install these Titan rear drawer systems. I know there's a lot of people that have done them. So pros and cons, I guess, is the bolts and screws that they give you with these things. They're just cheap crap. Nothing against Kings. Kings is a really good quality stuff. Some of the stuff is really good, like this control box is good quality. Same as with the rooftop tent that we've always had the rooftop tent, and I cannot fault the rooftop tent. With the rear drawers, like I said, it's just a little bit cheaply made, but I mean, for $500 and something that I paid for it, it's definitely well worth the money. So I'm not saying anything bad against Kings, because they have done a really good job when it comes to that. So yeah, they are good quality, but just the a couple of little things, like I said, the screws, they strip, the heads strip out. Some of the holes that you want to line things up with don't quite line up, so you have to re-drill them out. Yeah, but all in all, to be honest, the pros outweigh the cons. So I think, yeah, for $500, like I said, we've now got a drawer system where we can put all our camping gear underneath, the towing equipment, for driving equipment, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, all right, that's enough rambling. Stick around for the next one, which will be setting all up the power. So see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Stay moist.